I lost everything, my husband, my home, but I chose to stay, to follow faith instead of fear. Want to find out why?
Long ago, during the time of the judges, the land of Israel was in crisis. A famine spread across the land. Crops failed. Families went hungry. One family in Bethlehem, Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion, faced a heartbreaking choice. Stay in Bethlehem and risk starving, or leave their homeland in search of food. They decided to leave. The family traveled east, crossing the Jordan River, and settled in the land of Moab. At first, Moab offered relief. They had food, they had stability. The sons even married women from Moab, one named Orpah and the other named Ruth. But tragedy struck. First, Elimelech, the husband and father, died. Naomi was left a widow. Then, within about 10 years, both of her sons also died. Can you imagine the weight Naomi carried? She had left her home to escape hunger, only to lose her husband and both sons in a foreign land. She felt empty, abandoned, bitter. All that remained were Naomi and her two daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth. Word eventually spread. The famine in Israel had ended. Bethlehem once again had bread. Naomi made up her mind. She would return home. She looked at her daughters-in-law, both still young women, and told them, "Go back to your families. You're still young enough to remarry, to rebuild your lives. Don't tie yourselves to me. My future is bleak. I have nothing left to give you." The three women wept together. Orpah hugged Naomi tightly, kissed her goodbye, and reluctantly went back to her people. But Ruth wouldn't let go. She clung to Naomi and spoke words that would echo through history. "Don't urge me to leave you or turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." It was a vow of radical loyalty. Ruth wasn't just committing to Naomi, she was committing to Naomi's God, the God of Israel. So the two women set out on the dusty road back to Bethlehem. When Naomi and Ruth finally arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town stirred. People whispered, "Is this Naomi? Can it really be her?" But Naomi's heart was heavy. She said, "Don't call me Naomi, which means pleasant. Call me Mara, which means bitter. For the Lord has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty." It was the beginning of the barley harvest, a detail that would soon become important. With no husband, no sons, and no land of their own, Naomi and Ruth were poor. They needed food. In Israel, God had given a law. Farmers were to leave the edges of their fields unharvested, so the poor could gather food. This practice was called gleaning. So Ruth, humble and determined, went to glean in the fields. She just so happened to find herself in the field of a man named Boaz. Boaz was no ordinary man. He was a wealthy landowner, respected in Bethlehem, and, though Ruth didn't know it yet, a relative of Naomi's late husband, Elimelech. When Boaz arrived at his field and saw Ruth working, he asked his overseer, "Who is that young woman?" The workers explained, She's the Moabite who came back with Naomi. She's been working hard from morning till now, only resting a little." Boaz was impressed, not just by Ruth's work ethic, but by her loyalty to Naomi. He walked over to her and said kindly, "Stay here in my fields. Don't go anywhere else. I've told the men not to bother you. When you're thirsty, drink from the jars they've filled." Ruth was overwhelmed. She bowed down and asked, "Why are you being so kind to me, a foreigner?" Boaz replied, "I've heard about all you've done for Naomi, how you left your family and homeland to be with her. May the Lord repay you for your kindness. May you be richly rewarded by the God of Israel, under whose wings you've come to take refuge." From that day on, Ruth gleaned safely in Boaz's fields. At mealtime, Boaz even invited her to sit with his workers and share bread and roasted grain. When Ruth returned home to Naomi with an abundance of grain, Naomi's eyes lit up for the first time in a long time. Where did you glean today? Blessed be the man who noticed you. When Ruth told her it was Boaz, Naomi exclaimed, "The Lord bless him. This man is our close relative, one of our family redeemers." Naomi now saw hope. She knew the custom of Israel. A close relative, called a kinsman redeemer, could marry a widow to carry on the family name and secure the family's land. So Naomi crafted a plan. She told Ruth, "Wash, put on your best clothes, and go to the threshing floor tonight where Boaz is winnowing barley. When he lies down to sleep, uncover his feet and lie down. He'll tell you what to do." It might sound strange to us, but in that culture, this was a respectful, symbolic way of asking Boaz to act as a redeemer. That night, after Boaz had eaten and laid down, Ruth quietly approached. She uncovered his feet and lay there. Around midnight, Boaz stirred and found her. Startled, he asked, "Who are you?" She replied, "I am Ruth, your servant. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a family redeemer." Boaz was deeply moved. "The Lord bless you, my daughter. You've shown even greater kindness now than before by not chasing after younger men, rich or poor. Don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. Everyone knows you are a woman of noble character." But there was a complication. Another man was an even closer relative. Boaz would have to speak with him first. The next morning, Boaz went straight to the town gate, the place where legal matters were settled. He called the other relative and gathered 10 elders as witnesses. Boaz explained the situation. "Naomi is selling the land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. As the nearest relative, you have the right to redeem it." The man first said, "I'll redeem it." But then Boaz added, "If you redeem the land, you must also take Ruth the Moabite as your wife to carry on the name of the dead." At this the man hesitated. "I can't do that. It might endanger my own estate. You redeem it instead." And so, in front of the elders, Boaz officially claimed the right of redemption. He announced, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech, Mahlon, and Chilion. I have also taken Ruth the Moabite as my wife." The elders blessed him, saying, "May the Lord make this woman like Rachel and Leah, who built up the house of Israel. May your family be famous in Bethlehem." Soon after, Boaz and Ruth married. Their union was filled with joy and hope, a sharp contrast to the sorrow of the past. And then came even greater blessing. Ruth bore a son. When Naomi held the baby in her arms, her bitterness melted away. The women of the town said, "Praise be to the Lord, who has not left you without a redeemer today. May this child renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth." They named the baby Obed. Obed would grow up to be the father of Jesse, and Jesse would become the father of David, the greatest king of Israel. And generations later, from David's line, would come another Redeemer, the Messiah, Jesus Christ. The story of Ruth and Naomi isn't just a tale of 2 widows who survived hardship. It's a story of how God works through loyalty, faith, and unexpected relationships to bring about redemption. Naomi felt bitter, forgotten, and empty. But God was writing a bigger story. Ruth felt like an outsider, a foreigner, but God brought her into his family and made her part of the royal line of Jesus. Boaz acted with integrity and kindness, showing us a picture of the Redeemer to come. This story whispers to us today. Even when life feels broken, God is still at work. Even when we feel empty, He is preparing redemption. Even when we feel like outsiders, He invites us into His story. So, the question is, will we trust Him even in the bitter seasons? Will we choose loyalty, love, and faith like Ruth? Will we let God redeem our story as He did for Naomi? Because the God of Ruth and Naomi is still the God who brings beauty from ashes. And just as Ruth found shelter under His wings, so can we. Thanks for watching. And if you like this story, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing Bible stories.